Hope you're all doing good. How's it going? It's Thursday, the 11th of April, 2024. Here we are, we made it. So far, so good. Welcome new members. We have, and thank you Donna, yes. Hit the like or the dislike button, you choose. Male model, longer poses, want to continue the theme of maybe trying to throw some tone down on some of these things. Turn the music down just a tiny bit. And I'm probably going to do the odd partial pose so we can zoom in on something and play around. Hemant, welcome. All right. It's quite the statement. I am Hemant. I am Richard. You know, I knew this pencil was rubbish. Okay, another one for the bin. Sounds and visuals good. Thanks, Donna. Appreciate the tech check. Okay. There we go. And yeah, I'm going to probably start with a, let's see, might be a minimum of 15. Might be longer. Hey Lucas, how's the new puppy? Here's the thing with the new puppy. She's adorable. And she's awesome. And she's incredibly hard work. And speaking of which, we may have someone on the top of the hour making a guest appearance very quickly. So, there you go. I am Margot. Hi Margot. Good to see you. All right, let me start the timer. Yeah, minimum 15. This might go to 20. And of course, hello to all of you. Rick, Camille, the Inca, the usual suspects. Hi Sensei. Nice, solid. Thanks Tabichi. Appreciate it. Okay. I'm gonna, yeah, let's get the timer going. Let's get cracking here. So we have a 3/4 back view. For those of you who don't have access to the reference, then I would ask, why don't you have reference? Well, you can become a member and you can change that. I need to do a membership drive or something. I don't think you guys realize just how important your membership to the sustainability of this channel is. And I don't push it enough, really. You see, I've gone to, well, I won't say I've gone to great lengths, because in actual fact, one could argue you do the opposite to achieve this goal, but I've tried to not make this channel clickbaity and full of ads and all of that type of thing, for the most part, you know. But at the same time, the channel relies very much so on membership. So, you know, if there's any of you who have been contemplating becoming a member, kind of on the fence, what are you waiting for? Life's too short. Free beer with new membership. Yeah, that's right. Rick will send you free beer to each new member. How very generous of you, Rick. Much appreciate the contribution to the channel. Scapula. But you know, when you think about it, what is it, like $3 a month, something like that? It's a pretty good value, if I say so myself. All right, enough of that. Enough hawking product. Let's draw. Yeah, suddenly Rick went quiet. How interesting. No, there'll be no free beer from Rick or from myself. It's one of the unfortunate, well, I'd say unfortunate, actually maybe potentially fortunate developments from all that happened last year is I'm no longer a drinker. But maybe a quarter glass of wine every now and then. Yeah, I don't drink anymore. Which is something I never thought I'd hear myself say. But there you go. Yeah, I know the playlist is old, tired, like me, but until I can actually get it together to reinvigorate the playlist, you're just going to have to put up with it. How about French red wine? Oh, you know, here's the thing. There are two, to be honest with you, there's like, you know, we, like many of us, we have these kind of like regular rotations of meals in the house throughout the week, you know, which decade in, decade out seems to stay largely the same. The two meals I do like a glass of red wine with are Italian and Indian food. They seem to complement the food very, very well. I'm not stating anything new here, just from my personal preference. And those meals feel somewhat incomplete without a glass of wine. But honestly, I literally pour myself about a quarter of a glass nowadays, and that does me. It's literally just a little bit of a taste, and that's it. But as someone who, you know, probably drank a little bit habitually at times, I was never a heavy drinker, but, you know, it's not a development that I'm too sorry about. Thought I'd miss it more. Don't. This is probably a little on the large side. We'll give them a little bit of plastic surgery here. Do you still live in Spain? Asks Hemant. Hey Hemant. No. Last time I lived in Spain was what, 2000? I lived in Spain for 9 months in 2019, but that was just to work on a film. No, I grew up in Spain, but we left when I was 11. And then I moved to LA when I was 17. So I've actually spent very little time until we moved back to the UK a few years ago. I've spent very little time here, actually, as, you know, certainly as an adult. Because we moved to Spain when I was 5, I think. Free teas and coffees on your right, on the way in the virtual chat room. There you go. No biscuits. Tesco ran out of cookies. Tesco will never run out of cookies. When Tesco runs out of cookies, the apocalypse is officially here. And Tesco is our Ralph's, basically, for you Yanks. I was photographing Indian food on Tuesday and paying for it yesterday. Nice. So you got free food with the photography gig. I see how this is going, Rick. That's a fun gig. Different. Or maybe it's not fun. I don't know. I'm not a photographer. In the pantheons of things to take photos of, I don't know where Indian food stacks up. So, just the bump of the clavicle there. Get into our trapezius. So was the eclipse everything you guys needed it to be? That's what I'm curious about. I saw some of those eclipse meetings that you guys were referring to on the news. Crazy. You gotta be really into the sun. Okay. Something like that. He has a very nice trapezius. The eclipse is good. I sort of wish I'd gone to the path of totality. No, never go to full totality, Marco. Some of those things emanating from sun behind the moon are awesome. That's cool. Did you ever think you'd hear yourself writing, or think you'd see yourself writing, he has a very nice trapezius, Margot? That's the question I want the answer to. It is funny what figure drawing will do to you, the way that you think. You know, at the risk of sounding borderline like a creep, but I have caught myself on a couple of occasions staring at the anatomy on someone, just, you know, genuinely out of creative or artistic interest, and then having to catch myself like, this is not acceptable. You know, you try and explain to someone that you're just admiring their trapezius. That's not always going to go down too well. Actually, I think this is too wide. Yeah, I'm going to pull it in. I'm going to commit all kinds of sacrilege here and use my kneaded eraser for erasing. I think I can get away with this side, but I think this side I can pull in. YouTube sucks at notifying. Hit that bell. I guess that's what you're meant to say, right? Hit the bell. I don't know, maybe you've hit the bell and it's still not notifying, in which case, well, that's just not acceptable. I agree with you. Well, it is funny. No, because I have considered, you know, do I give enough notifications about the stream? Should I be like notifying people more, or, you know, in the chat and that type of thing? But I always feel like I'm disturbing people. I barely enjoy putting up I barely feel comfortable putting up that monthly link to the reference. Even that, I sometimes feel it's a disposition for people. Anyway, so I don't know what the answer is, because I know that if I do more notifications, it'll just upset some people. Not sure what the answer is. Oh, by the way, big announcement actually, which I will make more than once because it's a big announcement. And I know that this is going to be a problem for some people. I very well may have to change the days of the streams. Now, to what days we ask ourselves? The reason being is my wife generally works from home, but she does just happen to go into the office on a Monday and a Thursday. And as you all know, that is the day of the stream. The problem is, this new little bundle of joy that we got, even though we are crate training and all of that good stuff, it might make sense in the interest of keeping our sanity for me to shift the days that I stream so that the days I'm streaming, my wife is actually home. Because what I don't want to happen is for me to start a stream, Puppy to start barking in her crate, and then to have to deal with that while I'm streaming. So I'm thinking, my knee jerk was, I like to try and keep the 2-day gap between the two streams. So I was thinking, well, maybe I should do Tuesday, Friday. Could do Tuesday, Thursday. But as I said, then we've got only 1-day break between the two streams. So I'm not quite sure what to do. It's, feel free to chime in. Although, it is what it is. Marcus says, absolutely not. I don't think I even knew what a trapezius was until I started figure drawing. On his glutes. Nice. Yeah. No, look, this is, it's a funny thing with figure drawing. You think, oh, I want to learn to draw the figure. You don't realize that you're going to end up getting an anatomy degree, as a byproduct of that. I get a notification on both my phone and my iPad every time now. Look at Margot. She's clicked the bell. Tobichi asks, Richard, can you suggest me a very good book for anatomy? I mean, one that helped me step by step. No, because it's not the way to learn anatomy, Tobichi. I use an app. I use Essential Anatomy 5. You can get it for the iPad. I think you can get it for Android too, although I haven't checked. I don't generally recommend books anymore because I think that they're a pretty clunky way to go about studying anatomy compared to something like Essential Anatomy 5. But you can't learn it step by step. You learn the large ideas. That's what the main thing, right? Then you learn it on a piecemeal basis as you need things. So one day you'll be drawing something, you'll go, what is that I'm drawing? And you'll look at your anatomy and you'll go, oh, okay, it's that. What's it called? And you'll click on it. Oh, okay, it's called that. And it will be something that develops over time. And it'll happen in a much more organic way than you're suggesting. There is no, a step-by-step process, I believe, would be a very counterintuitive way to learn anatomy. Learn the large ideas. What's a pectoral muscle? What's the abdominal walls? The really major standout stuff. And then you learn it very slowly. I got my notifications 5 minutes ago. That's very strange, Noah. Not sure what to tell you, my friend. Here's the thing. Well, up until we just had this conversation, I always start at the same time, both days, right? Which is 5 p.m. London time. So if it's important to you, you can make a note to yourself about that, right? That would be my feeling. Rick says, I showed the 2 guys I'm working with today what you're doing, and they're very impressed. Oh, very nice. Thanks, Rick. I appreciate you spreading the word. And I would say, yeah, like to anyone that feels so inclined, please spread the word about what we're doing here. I think it's a nice thing. And I'd like people to know about it. I'm unfortunately not in a position to offer rewards for suggesting people come, but if you want to do it out of the goodness of your heart, it's much appreciated. Okay, so I've got in a pretty decent diagrammatical version here. Obviously time is just gone out the window, as you knew it would. One of these days I'm going to stop kidding myself on how long I spend on drawings. But I'm kind of getting to a point where I'm like, okay, I think that this, from a diagrammatical standpoint, is kind of where I want it. Now, let's get into a bit of tone, shall we? Large to small. I'm starting to sense a theme in art. Yes, that's a very good way of looking at it. Pale Spider, cool name. Yeah, large to small. What we're ultimately doing to Beach is we're continually subdividing large ideas into smaller ideas, and the same with the learning process. Because here's the thing, I say it all the time, I'm going to say it again, quick rant. I truly believe that you can actually get away with knowing a lot less anatomy than you might think at least to get you well started on your road in figure drawing. The trick is to know landmarks as much as it is to know anatomy. And ironically, or not ironically, but as it turns out, those landmarks are obviously anatomical things. But you know, from the back, the sacrum, I believe that the sacral dimples right here, and finding this triangle, knowing where those two dimples are, is one of the most fundamental and important ideas when looking at I would say the back view in its entirety, because it's in the same way that the ACES from the front is kind of a locking mechanism for the upper and the lower torso, right? And all the ideas kind of come together at the ACES. In many ways, even these quiet little dimples, it's the same thing, because the iliac crest connects to this. The separation of the gluteus comes down from this triangle that we've created here, and so on and so forth. And there's this follow-on effect that happens. All roads ultimately kind of lead to the sacral dimples. For the shoulder, for me, it's the acromion process, right? So, and there are more, but I think knowing those three different landmarks is just as important, or more important, than knowing that there's you can see three of the four muscles of the quadricep group of the front leg muscles, right? You'll get far more mileage from those three landmarks. So that's my feeling on it. Okay, that's why I'm reluctant and really would dissuade going the route of a step-by-step formula for learning anatomy, because it's not your path to progress, to rapid progress, in my opinion. I'm sure there's people that will disagree with that, but I just don't care. It's one of the nice things about getting older, is caring less and less what other people think. Okay. We've got a cast shadow coming off the form here. maybe it's time to just, and we got this, you know, the form is turning away here, and we do have this shadow kind of on this side of the form, kind of coming down this way. Something like that. That's probably a little large. We might make that a little bit smaller. All right, I'm going to block in a little bit of tone here. Yeah, there you go, Tabichi. Essential Anatomy 5. Hemanth, I sometimes have a problem in drawing forearms. It's difficult to find the muscles. Well, the reality is, Hemanth, there's essentially 8 muscles in the forearm. There's 4 extensors and 4 flexors. Flexing for gripping and extending, right? 4 on the lower side, 4 on the top side, essentially. But here's the thing. For the most part, you can kind of group them. The most important muscle of the forearm is this one here that comes across and attaches up here, right? It's called the brachioradialis. Why is it called the brachioradialis, I hear you ask? Well, because it attaches to the brachial ridge up here, and it attaches to the radial bone down here. Why is that one so important for me? Because it's the major overlapping form, right? Because it's attaching up here. It attaches up here, comes down to the radial bone. That, as a large idea, that's another kind of landmark, which I think is really important to know. But do you need to know the 4 different muscles, the 4 flexors and 4 extensors, and their names? Absolutely not. I used to know them, or I can't even say I used to know them. I studied them a couple of times. I could probably have recited them at one point. I don't know the names of those, but I know the ones that matter. That's just my opinion. Okay, let's do some coloring in. You're very welcome. That rant was weak or as weak? I don't know what you're saying, Rick. Rant as weak. As weak as what? That's the question. Jeffrey, welcome. Yeah, good, Pale Spider. That's kind of what I'm talking about as far as learning anatomy incrementally. What Pale Spider says there is forearms were a bear for me till I recently looked at the underlying structure and where the muscles attached, then it made sense. And that's how you're going to learn anatomy, is it's going to happen on an as-need basis, if that makes sense. After you know the large ideas, you're going to come across a roadblock and you're going to go, why can't I figure that out? And then you're going to look and then you're going to go, okay, now it makes sense, right? That's the best way to learn it. Because that way you'll remember things. If you just try and cram like you're doing an exam, it's like, it's not going to work. All right, let's do a little quick blend here and then we'll move on, because I've spent way too long on this drawing. So you get to a point, I find, with this tonal process where, you know, you've blocked in a little bit, and then when it comes to this kind of, the part of this putting tone in here, I find you've generally got enough material on the page where you don't really need to keep adding and adding, you know? That's one of the lovely things about charcoal, is it's so kind of forgiving as far as blending goes that it will generally work with you. So get enough material on the page to kind of just work through your ideas, and then, you know, only add it if you really need it. Dean, I took your advice some streams ago and will be attending my first live model session in a few weeks. Awesome. Feeling kind of nervous. Noah's right on it. He said to show up early, get a good seat. But when I went to my first session, I felt like that I needed to move around and try and find the best angle for the pose. That, though, is not going to be necessarily possible, Noah. There is no, so in some, you could make an argument, generally speaking, there is no perfect seat in a figure drawing pose, unlike these sessions, right? But that's part of the challenge. You're stuck with the pose you have. Don't always look for the perfect pose. Get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? Because that's where you'll actually be forced to kind of make some awkward decisions. And I would also argue, if you're walking around the room during a session, then the poses are probably too long. The shading is perfect. Well, thank you very much. Is Douglas here? Doug! Long time no see, buddy. Hey. Good to have you along. I was up last night thinking about figures and how I can improve my work. I feel I need to work on being conscious of what I'm going to draw and what I'm drawing in the moment. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's true. What about Sunday live streams? Hemant, the problem with weekends, well, there's not necessarily a problem for weekends. I know for some people it would be it'd be the perfect day. I'm a little reluctant, just because it is one of the 2 days a week that my wife does get off work, and you know, for me to shuffle in here and say I'm going to be gone for a couple of hours feels a little bit not ideal. I know a lot of people, you know, they get weekend plans, but then there's a lot of people that be like, oh no, Sundays are perfect. I've got nothing planned. So yes, I would take it into consideration. Point being is, though, the stream days do need to change. So I want it to be least impactful, ideally, for the regulars, right? Because if I pick a day and all the people that come regularly suddenly are feeling kind of like they're not going to be able to make it, well, then that doesn't really interest me, because without the regulars, this stream is a lot less fun for me. So maybe I'll do a poll on the community chat, a members only poll, because ultimately the members get precedence, I'm afraid. Another reason to become a member. Okay, enough of this blooming drawing. It's good enough. Good enough. I'm riding bikes on the weekends, you see? You see? I hear you, Rick. Pale Spider, leveling up to supporter level. Good man or woman, whatever you may be, welcome. Next pose. I would like post a vote for the Mondays. Yeah, Jeffrey, the point, you came late before I started discussing it. The point is, I think I have to stop doing Mondays and Thursdays and pick 2 different days, because those are the 2 days my wife goes into the office. And we have the new puppy, and me streaming with the new puppy is a bit of a problem if my wife isn't here. Not that we don't have crates and that yet, but I just can't have her yelping in the other room for 2 hours while I do a stream. Point being is, I need to make it 2 other days of the week. Nothing's going to happen quickly, or will I say that, you know, I'm not going to suddenly say, okay, we're never doing the Monday, Thursday again, ever. It might even be short term, but I'm looking at maybe Tuesday, Friday. Could be Tuesday, Sunday, but you see, I want to try and put 2-day break between the 2 days. Don't apologize, Jeffrey. I'm just telling you what's up. Pale Spider. Well, good to know. Thanks for the info. But the Monday's going to be tricky for me. Mondays and Thursdays with my wife. That's the 2 days of the week she's in the office, and obviously it hasn't been an issue for the live streams up until we got the puppy. So you can blame the puppy. But this is the reality of the situation, at least until she doesn't need round the clock looking after. Mr. Bitey the pup. That thing is a land shark. I've never experienced something so bitey. And she's lucky she's cute. That's all I can say. All right, clock. It's lucky she's cute. They design them that way, so you put up with bitey. But she is cute. Good Lord. And I am. Yeah, like she has me wrapped around her little paw. I'm officially in love with this dog. In spite of her bitey. Only Saturday mornings would not work for you, Jager. Okay, good to know. I have the same challenge with our dogs. Is the puppy named yet? Well, yes, we did name her, Doug. We named her Penny. But I'm just not convinced it's her name. Right now, Bitey would be perfect. But, you know, I don't want to straddle her with that reputation for all time. Although she deserves it. So yeah, I don't know. Penny though, it's like it's cute. But it kind of feels like a 5-year-old named her. If that makes sense. I don't know. We never had this trouble naming our last dog. Just feels like it came really easily and organically, and yeah, it wasn't an issue. But this one, I don't know. Just don't know. So anyway, we'll see. It will most likely change. It needs to change soon though, because she needs a name that she can rely on as much as anything else. Although all we seem to call her is beautiful girl and the likes when we're talking to her, so you know, I don't know. Dog formerly known as Bitey. Yeah, what would that be? DFKSB? TDFKSB? Maybe there's something there. We need to see her again before too long. Yes, well, there will be. Someone is making going to be making a visit to the stream today. I figured I'd wait till about the 1 hour mark, so now I'm not suggesting it's her. But you know, got to keep some mystery there, right? I have a cat named DC. What does the DC stand for, Jeffrey? Put you on the spot. Oh, short for damn cat. We have a cat called Cecil, and he's getting older, so his new name has become Pajama Pants, because he's quite fluffy and he walks around, kind of shuffles around like he's a pair of pajama pants. So yeah, that's I think he's got used to me saying, "How you doing, pajama pants?" at this point. Luckily they don't understand us, right? I'd be so insulted. Named my last cat Bella Notte, after the song and Lady in the Tramp. That's a nice name. We did think about Bella, but we know a person called Bella, a friend of ours, and it just felt like, felt a bit weird. I always use people named for pets. Yeah, no, me, I'm very much with you on that, Rick. That's maybe part of our dilemma here. You see, it's got to be a name that I'm comfortable shouting in an open space. Gummy's not going to fly in that respect, or something like that. I'm not a gummy type of guy. You know what I mean? Dogs are known by many names, new ones every week. Yeah, like look, I've been there too. Nippy, yeah. Yeah, but she won't always be, will she? That's the thing. She better not be. Pelsford, I'd get Amish names. I like that. Zebediah. Thackeray. Hezekiah? Am I saying that right? Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. That's cool. All right, let me draw. Yeah, it's a bit. That's funny. Right, you want to hear talking about names? I'll tell you a little story. So my surname is Smytheman, right? As I'm sure you guys know. My son Jack, he's an adult now. He's grown man. But when he was born, and just for what it's worth, you know, like, you know, I'm not particularly religious or Jewish, or that does, so just that maybe that gives this context. But when my wife was in the hospital, you know, our son was born, and basically they wanted to know what his name was, and I'd left for the night, and this was like the following morning, I think, the day after he was born, and my wife calls me and she's like, I need to know, they're asking for the name registry, what we should call, what Jack's middle name is going to be. And I was sleep deprived and joking, right? And so I'm like, just say Abraham, right? Did not think she would take it literally. But of course my wife is semi-sedated and just given birth. And so now my son's middle name is Abraham. So there you go. Very presidential, Jack Abraham Smytheman, right? You could see that, the 57th president of the United States or something. But not our intention, really, although it is kind of funny. So there you go. But if you didn't know better, you would just, you know, you'd wonder what was going on there. Luckily, he takes it all in good stride. Biting will stop after a couple of years. Yeah, I know, luckily. Hemant asks, what other mediums do you use, like oil, acrylic, and that? I don't. I use charcoal and newsprint. Once I master these, I'll consider other mediums. But that's going to be a while, I think. Yeah. So there you go. wife was always declared that all pets in the house have her middle name, Louise. Well, it's funny, I did consider just like like our last dog's name was Lily, and I just thought maybe all dogs in our house should just always be called Lily, and that would solve the problem. But I don't think I could actually do it. It would feel wrong somehow. Oh, I see. You put the Louis, you double barrel it. Nice. That reminds me of from that movie Ted, and they're going through names of girls from Boston. It's very funny if you're into that type of humor. So where are we at? 13 minutes. I just assumed I'd spent longer than that on this one. Okay. How are you guys generally finding these longer poses that are dipping into the 30-minute mark? Is that okay? Longer poses. Good. All right. Glad it's working out. Anything shorter than about 2 minutes makes my eye twitch. Yeah, they do keep you on your toes. I think, you know, we do them for fun every now and then, but I do think that when you start getting down into the minute range, you've really got to kind of ask yourself, what is it that you want to try and accomplish? I think there's a place for them, I do, in the interest of just, you know, developing a particular skill. I think that they can be useful. All right, I just need to send a quick message here. Okay. Cool. Good, good. Are you texting your dog? I am, well, kind of. Assuming someone's actually out there with her. A message has been sent. Just get a quick visit. And I get a quick doggy hit. Yeah, look, I think, fast poses, 1 minute, 30 seconds in that. It's like anything, it's like you wouldn't just start learning violin and expect to be able to play, I don't know, what, Flight of the Bumblebee kind of thing. They take time to develop that skill. And even if you have that skill, there's something that you need to kind of stay in practice for, to a very large degree. Like when I don't do them for a while, it can be pretty rough. Now I will warn you, with the puppy, I have these drums in my room which she has decided she's not a fan of, and she will bark at them quite ferociously when she sees them. So, she's got opinions on things. So this could be a disaster if she gets distracted by that and she decides that's what she's doing. Anyway, let's see. I actually have a feeling it'll be a few. She's still asleep. That's fair. Watch it. They love to chew on tabla straps. You know what's happening, Jaeger? She's getting down on her all fours, and she's seeing one of the drums has kind of got a reflection in it, and she's seeing her own distorted reflection in it, and that's what I think she's barking at. And yes, I'm well aware of the fact that it's one big chew toy. Yeah. I'd really like to know. Really like to know what? Sorry, I'm scrolling to see what you'd really like to know, because maybe I missed something. What are the? Yeah, we covered that. Oh, guys, what type of medium do you use? Oh, you're asking the group. I should have just looked one message up, shouldn't I? All right, I think we might have a visitor. Let's see, let me change camera angles. Hold on a minute, folks. All right, let me present it to the public. Okay, this is... All right, so this is Penny, as she is currently known. Also, Little Miss Bitey, right? Right? Oh, you're being very good. You're being very good. Yeah. You just woke up, did you? Are you tired? Are you tired and sleepy? All right, there you go. There's my little girl. Huh? I'll put her on the ground. Okay. Oh, don't get tangled up in my microphone. There you go. There you go, beautiful. Okay. That was chaos. Anyway, there you go. But yeah, she's been napping, so she was being quite quiet there. How old? She's just coming up to 12 weeks. Just, I think, in the next couple of days. So, most spoilt dog in England. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, she's cute. Yeah, she's too much. Well, you'll get progress reports as she gets bigger. She'll make the odd appearance, the odd on-camera appearance. You can see her grow up. That's the other thing. They sleep a lot at this age. It's kind of crazy. Must be nice. Keeps us awake, but she sleeps. You see, this is what they do, these dogs. They have these cute, quiet moments like that lull you into a false sense of security. And you to the point where you'll even go, oh, maybe she's over the biting stage. Maybe she's chilling in her old age. Because that's you want to believe. You're like, you know, when you're sleep deprived, you're like, okay, yeah, maybe she's over that now. And she's like, no, hold my doggy beer. A virtual puppy, exactly. I didn't see any biting, is Richard exaggerating? Rick. Nice. Yeah. She seemed fine to me. I don't see an issue. You've no idea. right, where are we at? 27 minutes. I think it's getting to a point where we're kind of at that stage of we can stop here, or we'd have to go to the next level, and I'm inclined to stop here because I really want to get to the Sistine Chapel pose, which I believe is next. All right, I think we're going to call it there. Cool. I'm sitting here doing a Frank Frazetta master study and feel like I've never held a pencil before. This is insane. Hey, Pale Spider, you joined. Why don't you go get the reference and draw along with us? I believe, look, here's my feeling about materials. Yeah, oil painting's a tough medium. So is watercolor, for completely different reasons, right? Gouache is probably less or more forgiving to some degree, but it's a trade-off with the ability to blend like oil painting. I was being a tiny bit facetious in my answer to you. I have painted a tiny bit in oil. I would not consider myself a painter at all, but I have used oil. I've actually used a little bit of acrylic too, and I flirted with watercolor, but I would not consider myself a watercolor artist at all. I think that obviously it depends what you're painting and your style, and there's obviously 100 different considerations. But I think that if you're new to painting, I would take the hit on spending the time to learn oil painting. I think you'd be glad for it, because with that, yeah, it's a tough medium to learn, but with it, like charcoal, comes a level of versatility that it's really hard to match. So that would be my feeling on that. I just don't paint enough because I don't have time. And also, to some degree, I feel like, you know, we can, although we're working on newsprint, we can get some of that same drama with charcoal, you know. I think I'm probably too impatient to paint, generally speaking. I can go back to an oil painting the next day and still move stuff around. Well, that's exactly Pale Spider. That's one of the huge pros. Watercolor is way harder than oil. Oil is forgiving. I almost wouldn't want to talk about them. And yeah, they're both technically painting, right? I think that's about where the similarities end. With both you're painting and you're working with color. Other than that, they just shouldn't be compared. Okay, next pose. Now we have our Michelangelo Sistine Chapel homage. Is this the God side or the Adam side of the image? It's the God side, right? You guys tell me. I haven't seen the Sistine Chapel in a while. I could look it up quickly. I'm going to do that. Images. It is the God side. The way it's rotated, but this is essentially the Adam side, right? The pose is really the Adam side. Although in the pose, I'm actually just looking at the painting now. Here, I'll share my screen for a second. Why not? So we're essentially drawing this, but the pose is slightly different. All right. I'm going to lower his arm to be like the Sistine Chapel. I'm going to keep that image open and just lower the arm enough. So basically, and I might even push this leg up just a tiny bit just to kind of replicate. No, you know what? I'll just move the arm down a bit. I won't mess anything else with the reference. Okay. Oil paintings for people with commitment issues. You don't like oil painting, huh? Rick, you're not an oil painter? Or you are an oil painter? I'm not sure what, I don't know what you're trying to say there. Is this your way of telling someone in your life that you have commitment issues? That's awesome, Pale Spider. Do me a favor, spread the word. Stealing like an artist. Well, Tabichi, you are far too kind. Okay, reset the clock. This has been, I feel like we're doing a lot of dossing today somehow. Between the puppy showing up and taking half an hour on poses. But thank you, Jeffrey. That's lovely to hear. Really, genuinely. Okay, reset the clock. Someone needs to reset my tea. If my wife's listening, which I'm sure she's not. That was cheeky of me. Okay, let me hit the clock. Shoulders. find my center line sooner rather than later. We can see that the ace is actually, funnily enough, right around where I've put this line here. I've got to be careful, I'm going to go off the page. I don't care, I'm going to go off the page. I'm less concerned about this foot down here than I am about the relationship of this upper torso. So I'm going to draw bigger. I want to enjoy the tonal journey that comes with that, drawing larger. God, look at that clavicle. Coming up. Boom. And then this arm, massive this arm sitting here. Bit of foreshortening on that forearm. Hand is sitting about there. Pectoral. Yeah, I'm going to lower this arm, as I said, so I'm going to find where the knee is before I commit to that. I'm going to be coming out roughly like that. Actually makes more sense to have it the way that Michelangelo did, kind of not quite resting on the knee, but looks good. He was all right, that fella. He weren't half bad with the Crayolas. Okay. Oh, I've got to be careful. Getting too short in the torso. Yeah. I'll pull down to here. And that will actually work nicely there for where I have this. Okay. Well, that's very kind. Thank you. Tabichi? And Jeffrey, all of you. Yeah, if you're pulling up reference at work, you do need to be careful for sure. True. Not bad with a chisel either. Yeah, he knew his way around a piece of marble, didn't he? To put it mildly. Terrible cook, though, apparently. No, I'm kidding. I have no idea. Who knows? Who knows? Never heard of whether Michelangelo could cook. Maybe there's a historian out there who knows the answer to that. I doubt it somehow. Probably far too preoccupied doing this and that. And this leg continues down this way. Oblique is going to be sitting here. So something like that. So now this doesn't really jive with Michelangelo's foreshortening he has on Adam's left leg, because on Michelangelo's this leg is kind of more coming towards us, but it's fine because is it fine? It's gonna have to be. Not changing that much about the pose of the reference. Like, that could be a fun thing for us to do actually during the stream. Would be to take a Michelangelo painting or drawing, and we could all draw it together. Do like a live stream master copy. That could be a bit of fun. What do you think? Yay or nay? Okay, I think I'm going to probably go back to, well, let's see, because you see right now his hand is going to end about here. It's not going to look like Michelangelo's at all. Not that it probably would have anyway. Brachia radialis. Actually, you know what, Pale Spider, I need you to give me a heads up on something. So you say just for the YouTube algorithm told you about the channel today. Did the live stream come up as like a recommended video, or was it one of my pre-recorded pieces of content? If you wouldn't mind letting me know. I'm just curious on how YouTube does put my stuff out there. That would be really handy. I think this leg's maybe a little lower. It'll all come together. I think what I'll probably do is start tying things down and then maybe shift and pull things as needed. Actually, I'm done. My spidey sense is already telling me that this drawing is not going to work. But we'll continue for a few. Yeah, I'm not crazy about it. Doesn't have the je ne sais quoi that it needs. It did. The live stream came up for me as recommended. I consume a ton of art content, so occasionally they do that. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, cool, man. Appreciate it. Thanks, Jeffrey. I try. Michelangelo's poses are super twisty. It sounds tough, but we'll have to study the pros. Yeah. Master copy maybe for strong in my case. Well, no, it's all in the spirit, isn't it? Sounds like a good time. Livestream master copy is a great idea. Okay, well then, his stretched left side is evading me, says Margot. Okay, we can have a look at that. Okay, well look, maybe we'll do one next week. I'll pick a couple of Michelangelo poses and we'll copy them for funsies. Maybe what we could do is, maybe we could do one of like the David. I actually have some photos I took myself of that, so that would be good. And then maybe we could do this Adam pose. We could just do like, you know, even just like, you know, 3 or 4 of them. Just, I think that would be fun. Let's do that. Okay, we're going to do that next week. What day of the week it's going to be is anyone's question. But we will do that next week. I'm into that. And I like the idea of the change of pace, just for, you know, every now and then do something a little bit different. Okay, let's keep going with this pose for now. I'm renting a scanner. There'll be none of that, Rick. What other channels do you like other than Richard Smyden? Oh, Hemant, I can't believe you would. Anyone would have any other channel. I always feel a bit weird when those types of questions come up. But, you know, if you guys feel like you want to answer, please go ahead. I'll just sit over here in the corner, quietly, minding my own business. Did I make it awkward? I hope so. I was once doing a live class in London a few years ago, and I had a model come in and pose for me. And then during the break, he spent his whole time trying to hock another artist's book in my class that he'd been asked to model for. And it all just felt wildly inappropriate to me. So yeah, there you go. Too much? Well, what can I say? Love what's going on with this arm in the reference. Not sure I've really captured it, but I love the overall shapes and the compression. It's really cool. Your own photos on David would be awesome, as you'd be using your photographic eyes perspective. Yeah, look, nice to use my own, just, you know, just so I'm not infringing on anyone else's photography rights, if nothing else. The guy's left leg is throwing me. It should be foreshortened, but it's super long. Camera distortion? It's a good question. It does feel, you're right, there does seem something up there, doesn't there? Because his upper leg definitely is giving off a sense of that it's coming towards us, and yet lengthwise it looks like a straight, you know, as if it's horizontal to us. Yeah, you may need to do boxes for the torso on this one. That's absolutely acceptable, Margot. I think so, right? Was that a paid model? Yes, it was a paid model. Absolutely. And supposedly one of the most professional models in London. I think it was, I just thought it was wildly inappropriate that he should be advertising someone else's book in my class. Because while I am genuinely all for, you know, I genuinely don't see myself in competition with other people. We've all got something, I hope, unique and interesting and different to bring to art, right? At the same time, I think when you're paying for someone's services, I think it's a little bit unprofessional to be talking about other art, to be promoting other artists' work. Especially in a live class. It's like, come on, dude. Well, there is little to no chance he's watching this stream, but if you are, you know who you are. You know what you did. Not cool. Bit sketchy on a paid gig. Yeah, very agree. Rising tide raises all ships. True. He was probably getting a percentage, maybe. Stickman Tube is a better artist. I'm sorry. I'm not sure, Noah, who Stickman Tube is. And if Stickman Tube is a person, another artist on YouTube, and they're a better artist, don't be sorry. But not at all. That's good. What type of genre movies do you like? Well, that's a good question. Nicely changing the subject. Thank you. Look, I fairly eclectic mix, I would say generally. But I got to admit, I'm a huge sucker for a good sci-fi movie. I love the world building generally that comes with good sci-fi films. And if I was really pushed, I would say probably the first Alien movie is my favorite movie of all time. The first one. We can get into a chronological debate on the merit of the rest of them, which varies wildly. I also have probably some rather controversial opinions on that too, because I like the Covenant. So there you go. Sue me. But yeah, no, here's generally with films, just as a general thing, here's how I feel about movies in general. I'm a big fan of first acts, and I'm usually out by the third act. I don't like the stress that usually comes with the third act of a movie, because obviously it's hitting its precipice, right? That's the whole point. But I usually find it too stressful. I'm not a big fan of horror movies. I'm very easily scared. The slightest, most simple, scary thing in a movie, and I'm literally behind my hands. I can't handle it at all. I'm terrible with scary movies. I love world building. I love watching them create the world that these characters are going to inhabit. And I enjoy good character development. But generally when the movies get to the stressful part of the movie, it's usually when I'm kind of ready to call it. I've quit many a film 70 minutes into the film. Because I find it too stressful. So there you go. Maybe a really weird thing to bring up, but maybe I'm not alone in that. I don't know. But yeah, I don't need the stress. So there you go. That's a very random thing to bring up. Raging Bull, solid. Deer Hunter, too scary. Lord of the Rings, too long. Enjoy the first act though. Really enjoy the first act of Lord of the Rings. Couldn't sit through the whole thing. Predator, solid. The original Fiddler on the Roof, all right. Mel Gibson's Hamlet, never seen it. Gotta go, Richard. See ya, Tabichi. Good luck. You have a good day too. Kingdom of Heaven, never seen it. Harry Kiri. I don't know what, it's a new movie, I'm guessing, huh? Cool. I think that's not the first time Siri's picked up some of my words, Margot. Your series listened to too many live streams. Ranjit, namaste. Namaste to you too, Ranjit. Hope you're good. Where are you hailing from, Ranjit? Are you in? Well, you're guessing you're Indian. Where in India are you? If you're in India, I'm curious. And what's the weather like? I mean it. I'm genuinely curious. Please humor me. It's a long show. I need stuff to talk about. Okay, break ready, Alice. India, West Bengal. All right. Is it? I'm guessing it's hot, yeah. What is the weather like? This time of year? You coming up to monsoon season? Is it rainy there right now? Oh, look at Jaeger. Going for it. See, no. She's got me beat. I don't speak any Hindi or Tamil. I really should know a little bit, but I don't. Where are we at time-wise? Oh, we've got 15 more minutes. All right, so what we've established is next week, master copies. That's going to happen. What else have we learned today? We learned that I'm not good with horror movies. That I don't really like people selling products in my classes. Yeah, good times. All right, you know what I think I'm going to do, guys? So I'm going to spend a few more minutes on this. I think we'll lay down a little bit of tone. Bit of an ambiguous tonal pass in the lighting on this one. It's very even. So I'm going to try and maybe push it a little bit. We'll hit a bit of tone on this. And then maybe finish proceedings off with like a quick 5 on one of the other ones. I've been watching your videos for 2 years. Yeah, there is a hot and rainy. Nice, Ranji. Well, thank you. Hot and rainy. Oof. Had some friends from Nepal that taught me some Hindi. Nice. Yeah, I need to learn it. Or at least learn some. I actually would be useful for me. Okay, use your words, Richard. I find myself in situations where I would be actually quite handy to know a little bit of Hindi. Come across YouTube videos and that which are not translated into English that I would find quite interesting. It just feels like I should learn Hindi, I should learn Italian, I should learn Spanish. And it's not like, I'll just quickly learn Hindi. It's going to be an undertaking, right? It's like, well, there goes the next 2 years of your life to kind of get a basic grasp of it, because I'm old and I learn things really slowly these days. but I like the idea of learning it. So while I'm using the light direction that's on the reference, I am doing a little bit of a, you know, one of these kind of conceptual light passes, just to give some consistency. Hopefully. A nice little pocket of light in here I want to try and keep. Just like charcoal, you should master English first. Coming from an American, you are hilarious, Rick. I'm practicing figure drawing the last 7-8 months. I still can't understand the motion. It gets me hopeless sometimes, but your video approach is inspirable. I watch your video and pick up my pencil and start again. That's all we can ask, Ranjit. That's all we can ask. Yeah, this is a tricky pose, Margot. This is a tricky one. There is no doubt. You're correct. All we can do is try. All we can do is try. America. Yeah, exactly, Rick. I will tell you one thing. You guys pronounce aluminum correctly. That is, in my mind, aluminum is a better pronunciation. Regime is better than regimen. Sorry. I think aluminum knows about it. Everything else you're wrong on, just so you know. But that's okay. It's not your first, it's not your language, it's our language. You guys just adopted it. It's okay. How to win friends and influence people. All right, a couple more minutes on this, and then we will call it. Oh, Rick. Wow, are we at the cheap shot hour? Yeah? Okay, just so I know. I like the way you say privacy. Privacy or privacy? See, there are some, like, now which is the English way? Privacy privacy. What do my American friends say? I don't know. What do you guys say? Privacy or privacy? Da, 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 da. Sorry, there's a conversation actually going on about drawing here. What's going on with the oblique? I'm not going to go back up the chat, I'm afraid. Privacy is classy. Oh, so you guys say... Oh, well, no, you see, you could still say that. Privacy or privacy. You've gone phonetic and yet not helped the situation, Rick. Privacy. Thank you, Jaeger. That's what you guys say, privacy. We say privacy, do we? I don't even know which one's right anymore. They both sound right to me. There are some that like that sound the same. They both sound correct to me. I have a lot of Americanisms in my language, obviously from living there for so long. And I've had English people tell me that I sound American, that I don't sound English. My sister put it nicely. She said I sounded mid-Atlantic. I think I sound English, but then, yeah, I've had English people tell me, not so much. It all depends how sensitive you are to accents. Eric says, just watching your video on the ACES, knew nothing about it, makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Eric. If you like that one, you should see these other two videos I haven't done yet on the sacrum and the acromion process. I keep meaning to record those. Those for me are the three main landmarks, and as equally important as the ACES. So, but I do appreciate that, and it makes me realize I really need to record those other videos. I like the way they say it on Acorn TV. Having never seen Acorn TV, I have no idea, Margot. Pale Spider, absolutely, email me. Shoot me a message on my website, and we'll find a time that works for both you and I. I'd be happy to meet with you. Okay. Yeah, you sound a lot more American. Thank you. Question mark? You see, Margot says you sound totally Brit to me. It just depends on what side of the river you are. I would have not known you lived in the USA for as long as you did, says Jeffrey. There you go. I asked which body part or muscle you like to draw, like which gives you the feeling of motion. Thanks for the answer, Dean. Oh, you're asking Dean. Landmark video is awesome. Thanks, Jeffrey. I asked everyone, but you better all get to answering. All right, this drawing feels woefully unfinished on the screen. All right, this one needs a charcoal treatment. It needs pushing way further than I've pushed it, but not today, because we are already at 2 hours. We are going to wrap this sucker up with a quick 5-minute pose. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump to the last pose, because this second to last one, pose number 4, I'm actually going to keep, because I think it would be a really nice long pose. Whereas the last one, it kind of lends itself to a gesture, right? So let's hop to the last pose. As I said, 5 minutos, and then we will be out of here. Yeah, whichever one I can actually draw well it's my favorite muscle too. Okay, 5 minutes. That was a long pose, 40 minutes. What do we like? You see, asking which is your favorite muscle a little bit feels like asking which is your favorite color to me. They are, to me it feels very case dependent and relative to what's going on around it. Okay, 5 minutes. Now it's interesting, I actually kind of feel like there's, oh, this pencil will never do. It almost feels like there's a slight movement to the torso this way and then coming back this way. I'm exaggerating, but I'm going to start there as an idea because it's just kind of what my intuition's telling me. It is tricky though, because he's really quite straight on through the upper torso. And then this elbow's about here, this arm coming across this way, and this one coming across this way. What's your favourite classic book? I'm not a reader, no. Don't know. Pale Spider says, I cannot wrap my head around getting the feeling of the pose. We can work on that. We can discuss that. It'll need to be a different stream now because we're, you know, we're 4.5 minutes into a 5-minute pose. But there's ways to kind of get into understanding the rhythm and the feeling of a pose. Trying to find the large ideas. Yeah, please don't forget to hit the like or dislike button on your way out the door, depending on how you felt overall. Please take the whole stream into consideration. And if it didn't meet your exacting standards, don't hit the like button. Vote with your like-dislike button. That's what I say. And there's our 5. We've gone over. You guys got a free 30 seconds out of me. Damn it. Well, guys, it's been fun. So there you go. I will let you guys know if Monday is going to be a Tuesday or a Sunday. I need to have a chat with my wife, because today turned out to be a bit of a challenge in figuring what to do with the little one. So, unless you hear otherwise, you can assume it's going to be a Monday, but please check the notifications. You know, just make sure. Hit that notification bell. I don't think I've ever hit it, but that's me. But you know, couldn't hurt, I guess. What else was I going to say? Am I missing anything? Like or not like? Can I count on your privacy? You can, Rick, always. Much fun. Yes, it was, wasn't it? I agree, Jeffrey. Thanks all of you, really, because what would this be without having a nice, fun conversation along the way, right? Do a bit of drawing, maybe learn a thing or two. I certainly do. And we will do it all again next week. That's the marvellous part. Remember, maybe the next stream, okay, I'm going to make a proclamation right here and now. The next stream will be the Michelangelo Master Copy stream. For those of you who, actually maybe I can make the reference for that one public. Let me see. I'm going to think about that. Maybe it'll just be a member perk. I'm rambling, guys. I've been rambling for the last 2.5 hours. Why would I stop now? Guys, it's been fun. I will see you all next week. You know the drill. Most importantly, look after yourselves. I'll see you then, and have a marvellous weekend. Take care. Cheers. Bye.